because if you want to get these types of treatments that we have found very, very effective, you have to pay cash for them. So that's a really hard thing when we already went through what the doctors told us to do, all the insurance told us to do, and we did everything. I even did clinical trials in LA, and we went through all the hoops they told us to do.
So we are here today at the Paso Robles Podcast and I'm going to have three camera angles working today.
Okay.
I do in real-time editing, so I don't have to do any posts.
That's impressive. Nice. Cool. I love that.
Yeah. People don't know that, but I just put this out of the frame. But
okay.
So awesome. I have Stacie Strong.
My name is Stacie Athon, but our nonprofit is Stacie Strong.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Which would be kind of cool if that was my name.
That would be.
Very fitting.
I feel like every time I'm telling people like you're going to be here, it's like, oh, it's Stacie Strong. And
yes.
That's such a badass.
I know that follows suit with what we're doing.
Yeah.
But Stacie Athon and Cody Willis.
And Cody
but we are married. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Husband and wife.
We're married. Didn't get a chance to change the last name yet. So
I'm on that boat with my wife as well. And
okay.
She reminds me every once in a while.
Yeah. I know. It's hard to. Yeah, with the diagnosis and everything now I feel like we've gone so far. It's now been 5 years and I'm like,
Yeah.
Kind of works how we have it.
She was diagnosed 10 days after we were married. So the plan was to get her name changed and everything.
Oh, wow.
But other things came up, obviously.
Right.
So, which took precedence, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll give you guys the floor, introduce yourself, and whatever you want to promote. This is an interview.
Okay.
This is a conversation.
Cool.
Great.
And we'll just go from there. But I know you have an event coming up again. So
we definitely want to talk about that.
Definitely take the lead.
Plug that.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah. Cody Willis.
There you go.
We're excited to be hosting our 4th annual Stacie Strong event, golf scramble golf tournament, and silent auction fundraiser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, we are having that at Hunter Ranch this Sunday. Okay. So golf starts at 8:30, and then we actually open up our after party to everyone. So you don't have to golf to come to the after party, and that starts at 1:30 at Hunter Ranch, same location. And we have a barbecue lunch happening. We have a silent auction. We're going to have multiple items available for a 50-50 raffle and for raffle tickets. We have a full bar, and everything is pretty well sponsored locally, which is really nice. And like you said, this is our 4th annual, and we're gearing up for it to be the best year yet. So,
we're just super excited and humbled that we've been getting to do this year after year for the last 4 years. And we've just had our community growing up here, Stacie in Atascadero and myself in Paso. We've just been extremely blessed to have a community back us the way they have. We could not do this without friends, first and foremost, friends and family that have stuck by our side and are helping volunteer their time, especially in particular with our team. It's myself and Stacie, and then 6 other gals that are just they mean the world to us, and they've been mostly longtime friends of Stacie and direct family of ours too. We could not do it without them. And then additionally, just with our, the rest of our volunteers that have shown up for the last few years, and all of our sponsors too, that have our reoccurring sponsors, which have been amazing, and new sponsors as well. All of our attendees too. We see a lot of reoccurrence year over year with them, and it just want to shout out to everyone. There's a lot to name, but we're just so humbled and blessed to be in this position.
It takes an army, and they've continued to show up year after year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty exciting to see not only sponsors, but just like Cody was saying, the attendees come back. And we really try to cater it to everyone. So obviously golf is for people that enjoy golf, but being able to open it up for their family and friends and kids. We have a bounce house so the kids can come and play. So we really tried to curate something for everyone so that everyone feels welcome and they can just have a great day. And we end up seeing, the golfer and then their family comes later, and then it's a whole afternoon event. So it's been really fun to see it grow and develop over the course of the last four times. Hasn't been 4 years because at one point we did do it twice in 1 year, but this is our fourth event. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it being I think that's what separates us from a lot of other events like this is how family friendly it is. There's just so much to do on the day of. And I mean, the reason why we're able to do it is because people keep returning and people just really enjoy the day. They know they're there for a good cause, and past years it's all the proceeds go to our financial situation because all of Stacie's treatments currently over the last 3 years have been all out of pocket. Insurance doesn't cover it. So they know they're showing up day of to support us ultimately. But you can see just like the joy, in the kids and, the parents or friends and family. They really get a good kick out of it, and they love returning every year. And I got a lot. It is so cool because I usually play golf every year, and I have several guys every year that come up to me and like, "Hey, this is my first year playing, but I can't believe I haven't played before." And so it means like we're not just creating proceeds to benefit us. We're allowing people to have a wonderful day, beautiful day together, spending it together. Mostly everyone that shows up knows each other or connected some way or another. Paso is a small community, and that's what like makes the day really and makes it so enjoyable. So yeah, it's just an awesome day. So just to plug it real quick, I mean it's there's still plenty of tickets left for public sale for the after party.
Okay.
We have 6 teams left for golf. So any last minute golf registrations we're still taking, but 6 team registrations, 4-person teams. But yeah, we just ask, anyone locally, just to come out and enjoy it, check it out. And there's a lot of good things to bid on. 120 something silent auction items to bid on, and some really cool prizes. So that makes it all the better too.
Right.
So, yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Lion Pro Flooring. Give new life to your floors with beautiful, professionally installed flooring. Whether it's hardwood, luxury vinyl, or carpet, your home deserves quality you can feel and craftsmanship you can trust. Serving Paso Robles in all of SLO County, Lion Pro Flooring is your local expert in transforming spaces. Call or text 805-712-3710 for a free estimate today. That's 805-712-3710. Lion Pro Flooring, when quality matters. So what, I know for the new listeners and the new people finding out about this event, can you talk about what inspired it and what got it going? And, I mean, I'll ask later, but golf, I'm sure you have an influence on that one, maybe?
Yes, he does.
You were talking about it as if it was all you.
Totally.
Yes.
I'll let Stacie go on.
He's the golfer.
So, tell us the story.
Yeah. So originally I was diagnosed, like we've talked about earlier off air, a couple days after we got married, and we went through the standard care stuff and finished all that up. And then unfortunately the cancer had returned after I went through standard care, and there wasn't really any other options for me at that point. So Cody and I sought alternative treatment when that time came, when we really didn't have any other options. And there was a terminal diagnosis on the table, and we were just really looking for other ways that we could have success in treatment. And we ultimately found that, but it wasn't anything that was in the standard care world. So it was all cash. So we very quickly were required, in order for me to continue this treatment, to have quite a bit of funds up front. And, it wasn't like we could bill it. It was like you owe every week, or you don't get treatment the next week. And so I was in a pretty bad space at that point. That was in 2022. And the cancer had spread throughout my body. And so we were really, honestly, we were in a desperate space. And so someone had come forward then back in 2022 and said, why don't we put together a golf tournament fundraiser for you guys to get you through a couple of months. And that's really where Stacie Strong was born, out of pure desperation. And of course, friends, family, and community members just jumped on board. And the first year we really didn't know what we were doing, as most first year events are, but everyone just showed up and had such a great day. And we were able to raise funds to help support. At that point, I was going to treatment 5 days a week, and the bills were just astronomical. So my treatment has continued to require financial needs. I'm still now, originally diagnosed in 2020. So we're coming up on almost 5 years in October. And I'm still receiving maintenance treatment. I'm doing really well with what we've chosen to do, but I'm still completely outside the box. So the treatment that I receive is cash pay. So I go twice a week still, and that's just to keep my body healthy. Deemed stage 4 back in 2022, and I was given a few months to live. So being able to get to a space of healing has taken a lot. And so we're in a really good space, but the continued maintenance and the continued care is still there. So it's become an annual event after that first event, and how beautiful and successful. And even outside of the monetary piece of it, it really gives Cody and I this just strength and ability to move forward, because we've been in this really hard fight for almost 5 years. And it's really hard to even explain what that's like. I mean, our marriage has been, it's just, everything's been stripped away. It's been completely focused on my health and my healing, and in all frankness, me not passing away, because that was the option that we were given. So it gives us such, it's just been such a blessing to have this day and to look forward to this day where we're lifted up in more ways than we can even explain. Like I said, not even monetarily, but as Cody was saying, the joy and the love and the care. And, I'm still fighting every single day. I do about 100 different modalities at home. I'm still going into treatment twice a week, but it's the day of that. It's like, I look out, and I think Cody and I can both speak to this. It just gives us the strength to move forward and to continue to fight and to continue to see that these people are behind us, and we know that they're going to show up, and we know that they're going to support us emotionally, mentally and physically, not just monetarily. And that equally is as important. And so that's really where it was born, and the need has continued to be. So we've continued to do our fundraiser, and the goal and our hope and our prayer is that at some point I'll be at a space that we can fully give back. And we are now partnered with Sabeswings. So they've adopted us as one of their programs, and Sabeswings is a national organization that helps with financial toxicity, so other cancer patients in need, and we're now a formal program within their umbrella. So we're really excited. The future is bright. We're not quite there yet. We continue to see that, and we continue to focus on that, and our goal is that there will be a time in the future that everything that we raise goes back to others that are in need. So that's really the long-term goal.
All right, so right now you're still in it. You're in the process. You're going twice a week.
Yep.
You're so with all that, you're learning how to raise funds, and you're learning the ins and outs. And just like anybody else who is going through something, they need answers. So obviously you're doing the research. You're talking to people who have been in it, who are in it.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about how it was before that. You weren't in that world before. What was how long were you guys dating? How'd you propose? I mean, we can talk about that too.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fun.
Just a quick backstory. I mean, we were dating 5 years before, we got married. We were living here through that time here in Paso Robles, and my work, I was able to move up to Oregon, where we currently are residing, for kind of a work promotion. we spent a year and a half in Oregon and planning our wedding, got married, and, cancer happened. So, in that space, kind of going back to where she touched on a little bit before, like going through standard care and treatments, everything is kind of just done for you, through insurance. You kind of have patient navigators that are just kind of guiding you through that process to make it really streamlined and easy. But, Stacie, at the end of the day, she was just a number to the doctors in those institutions. And, they have a very specific protocol, and they don't really defer outside of that. And, once she didn't fit into that protocol, after her second diagnosis, it's kind of just like, okay, well, you're kind of just on your own. We can do this to try and give you a little more extended life, but we've basically done all we can. So, it taught us to, and I give all the praise to Stace and how resilient she is, but just to work extremely hard for herself. And, we kind of just had to lean on each other to get things in motion and to make things happen. So, just, and it's really just kind of trial and error, especially with this whole fundraising process, and luckily, thank God that we've had people that have come in our lives that have had experience, and people that we're just close to that have helped us build it to where it is today.
Yeah, we had no idea initially. Like I said, the first year was a crapshoot. It was awesome and we did great, but we've been really blessed to have people come alongside with little bits of experience, and then together we make a really cool team.
Yeah. And everyone from our volunteers to our team that's boots on the ground making things happen, because we're in Oregon. Right. Like, we don't have a physical presence here, and for those on our team that just show up day in and day out to do the things that they're doing, it's all volunteer time. They're not getting paid for it. It's an incredible feeling, and it just, it goes to show like we're not in this alone. So, and then there's like, Hunter Ranch Golf Course, which is like, their team is amazing, and they've allowed us to do it, this is the third time at their location that we're able to do this. And the venue is like set up perfectly for what we need. And we haven't had to change or flex anything with, their venue to support our needs. Like, everything's just really plug and play. Yeah. So things just have all happened for a reason, and we're just thankful for this opportunity, and we really hope we can grow it more to give back more to the community.
This episode is sponsored by Del Pueblo Furniture in Paso Robles. Skip the credit card headache. Talk to Roger and get 0% in-house financing on quality furniture you'll love. Visit them at 1030 Railroad and 10th Street, or call 805-239-5942. That's Del Pueblo Furniture. Comfort you want, payments you can handle. Y sí, se habla español. Just ask for Roger. So why golf? That's the big question I have right now.
I love golf like that. And it's a pretty like common, I think, activity for a fundraising opportunity, and it's big in this area. And that was like a commonality that I had that could get, a lot of people that I know involved immediately. Right. And it was when we were first planning our first tournament, it was like an immediate, thing we needed in like 6 months. I think less than that, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, 2 or 3. It was very short.
And it was like, this is the one thing we could do immediately to gain attraction and funds.
Right.
Because we were running out, like, honestly, like we were on our last credit card, our last line of credit to maintain these treatments. So, yeah, we had a group of people that just, came together, and we had it at a different venue. We did not have it at Hunter Ranch. And it was in 2022 over New Year's Eve, that was that last massive rainstorm. And we were in this little 5,000 square foot building, and people, golf, it didn't even last the whole round because it was just, tsunami winds and rain. And it was unreal. I've lived in Paso my whole life.
Yeah.
Never saw weather like that.
Yeah.
And, but it ended up being an amazing day. And
people had a great time.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
And, people were like, I never thought we'd do it again. But people really encourage us, hey, we need to do this again. We kind of know the ins and outs of it a little bit now and what it could take. And
right. And our treatments, my treatments, we really were hopeful that we would be able to kind of wrap everything up and I'd be able to move forward. And ultimately we ended up chasing quite a few metastases in my body. It's been in my brain, my liver, my spine, my lungs. I always forget the last one. My bones, I don't know, everywhere. So the need just was there. Yeah. And so we continued to have this space of these opportunities. And then I did want to add, because he's the golfer and I love to have a great time, I don't golf. So we ended up kind of morphing it into almost two totally separate events into one day. So mornings golf and then afternoons the party. And that's why we really wanted to open it up to everybody. So golf is specific to obviously people that enjoy golfing. Party is open to everyone. So it's quite a unique day. And the fact that the party is just as big as the golf portion. And, at times bigger, we're I think we chewed off more than, or bit off more than we could chew. But I'm like, we're going to do both and it's going to be great. So it really does just transition into this huge party. So it's really fun. So that was my thing. If it were up to him, it would have just been golf because it's a lot just with golf. But I'm like, no, we're going to do a party. So now we do both.
Yeah, golfing is one of the things I always tell myself I want to do only because I see how much networking happens in golf.
Yeah.
And and I'm just like, I got to learn how to do it. My old boss, he would be, he would just kind of he would just mimic doing putting or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I need to work on my game.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just randomly in the lobby.
It's funny seeing people do that at airports or just public places. I mean,
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's a fun hobby. And I think people get a kick, not only just playing, but playing for an opportunity too. And the golf experience, I mean, a venue like Hunter Ranch, it's an amazing golf course, and but with the cost of playing, with our tournament, you obviously get the round, but there's lunch provided, there's
breakfast,
swag, there's breakfast,
full bar.
So it's not just it's a whole experience for the golfers too that day, right? More than just the golf round too. So
we also had hole takeover options for sponsors, which basically means you can get a hole in your business name that you're talking about, networking and sponsoring your business. You take over the hole. So basically you can do anything. So we have, games that are set up out there, beer pong and whatever the case, and you can do whatever you want. So it's a really fun way that the golfers have a great time because they get to go to a hole and have some sort of interactive fun, or it's food or it's a Jell-O shot or whatever. And then the business is promoting their business because obviously they're out there with all their signage. They have opportunity to talk about their business. So that's a new addition that we added last year. And then this year more formally. So that's been really fun to develop because not only is it giving back to those, that are at the hole, but the golfers love it because it's just fun, So it's like, oh, what's up next? So it's been a fun addition to our tournament. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street. Craving something delicious in Paso Robles? Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street has you covered. Enjoy tasty sandwiches, fresh salads, and smoothies like the Banana Nut Blast, my personal favorite. Kick back on the covered patio, sip on a cold beer and wine, and enjoy the easy parking. Order online for pickup or dine-in. And here's a treat. Use promo code PODCAST for $5 off your next order. That's PODCAST for $5 off your next order. Open daily from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Rad Scooter Deli, local flavor, fast and fresh. So compared to when you first started, I just want to make sure, Hunter Ranch, that's the one on the 46, right?
Yep.
Off of 46?
Yes, correct.
The one that used to have the all-you-can-eat Sunday breakfast?
Yes, the brunch.
The brunch.
Yes.
Yeah. He used to work there. Wasn't that your first job?
That was my
Or
first
one of your
job
first
in high
jobs?
school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was way back before they renovated it.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. That
what
was
it is now.
big deal. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I worked there, the kitchen was just like a quick pop in for golfers just to get a hamburger, hot dog, like on the turn. But now they do like it's incredible what they've done to the restaurant specifically and how well they've been able to upkeep the course.
It's beautiful.
And I mean, just the backdrop and scenery itself on some of the holes is beautiful. You get to overlook a lot of the vineyards, and so it's a great day, and it's easily accessible. And for those that it's their first time, maybe they're in town because of someone they know invited them to this tournament. It's a great like first experience to Paso too. You know, so
yeah.
Yeah, I think I've never done the golf thing, of course, but the one thing I remember is the bacon that they had in there. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't it like the wasn't it this? What did they put in it?
I don't know.
Syrup. Wasn't it like a maple syrup
It was
they
like
did?
It was like bourbon or something alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the former
So
I think manager of
good.
the restaurant. She was known for her bacon. She owned a little kind of like breakfast brunch spot downtown Paso, like back in the day, and yeah, like when she took over the restaurant, that's when she started like the whole brunch and just elevated menu. But yeah, everyone knew her for her bacon. It was
That's
incredible.
funny. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because I don't think they have it anymore right now, especially after 2020. It became a very sensitive thing to do.
Right.
Yeah,
With the whole everybody's touching your
Everyone's touching your food.
Brunch style or the whole buffet styles. Yeah, it's might be an ancient concept anymore, but yeah.
I mean, if they bring it back, I'm down. You know?
I love a good buffet.
All you can eat.
Yeah, all you
Still
can
go
eat.
to Vegas.
I was going to say,
never gonna get rid of them in
Vegas still has those. They're known for it.
Yeah.
Vegas, you're already doing other things already. So
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things. This episode is sponsored by Santos Bros Plumbing. Are you in need of a dependable and effective plumber you can trust? Look no further than Santos Bros Plumbing, your trusted local plumbers in Paso Robles, California. Call them now at 805-360-4679. That's Santos Bros Plumbing.
Yeah.
So Hunter Ranch, did you guys know the owners before you decided to be at that location? How'd that conversation happen? Because you didn't start at Hunter Ranch, but now you're at Hunter Ranch.
Correct. Yeah. I think it was more so we don't know ownership or anything. And it was frankly just we needed a bigger venue.
Okay. Good problem there.
And the other golf course, the Links, if I don't know if you're familiar with there, but they closed down that following year that we had the tournament there. And there wasn't the space for our after party. There was nothing that really accommodated what we wanted to do there. So there's only a couple options, and Hunter Ranch just had I think just the footprint itself, the most capacity that we could take advantage of. So it was just a simple call and reach out to them. And they do events all the time out there.
Yeah.
Only maybe a couple or a handful kind of like similar to ours. But, even after the first year, they were shocked to see the turnout, first of all. And secondly, they were like, man, how long have you guys been doing this? Like, you guys are really well organized. And like, that threw us off, because we felt like it was just pure chaos. But they enjoyed working with us. And I think that's why we return every year too. So, but yeah, I think in terms of just, why Hunter Ranch, I think they just have the most to give in the immediate area.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a good problem to have when you have to go bigger.
Right.
Is there bigger in this area after Hunter Ranch?
Not in the North County, I don't think.
No, I mean, Paso Country Club's an awesome venue too.
Yeah.
But again, we just need more space. I think it would be, the course is excellent. The Deeds restaurant is awesome. But again, we needed people to spread out, you know.
Right. Our after party is typically around 300 people.
Yeah.
So, So the party itself, trying to find a venue that can support the golf and the party is where it kind of we're set apart a little bit more. Yeah. We throw a good party.
Yeah, we had close to 300 last year. We're expecting the same. And that's including the golfers.
Yep. And their families.
You know, volunteers too, to a certain degree. But yeah, I mean, that's the bulk of it makes up the golfers and our just after party attendees. So
this episode is sponsored by Western Janitor Supply. They have cleaning supplies and equipment for any workplace. Call today at 805-238-2112. They provide an extensive line of chemicals, paper products, and floor equipment. Again, that's Western Janitor Supply, located in downtown Paso Robles.
Yeah.
So I like to always ask the questions of thinking ahead, right? And that's a good thing to do. In a perfect world, where do you want to be 5 years from now with this event?
Yeah, I think our goal always is to be in a space where Cody and I aren't having to receive any of the funds, because what that means is that I have achieved a space of healing that we feel really good and confident to continue. But we do continue to have a heart for giving back, especially because we felt like we have received so much. So in a perfect world, in 5 years, 100% of the proceeds would go back to, in this case, Sabeswings. We've also had an opportunity to possibly look at having our own recipient. So that might be something in the future that we're able to consider, which would be really exciting. My heart goes towards alternative treatment because that's where I had to go. So I didn't have any other options. And there's so many other people out there that are in the same boat where standard care has failed them literally, and they have no other where they have no other place to go, but who has hundreds of thousands of dollars to make payments for these. Nobody, I mean, that's very, very unusual. So my heart would be to be able to give back to recipients that are in need, that are in a space that I've been in where there isn't any other options. So ideally that's where I think we should. And we do, we focus on it every year. And every year we have high hopes that we're able to, continue to give back. And
scalability is like hard to think about because this event alone is a lot already. So it's like, how much can we invest into, our own time, and then our, volunteers' time that it's a lot of time invested on their parts, and they all have families and, growing kids. And so it's challenging to see them taking away from their personal lives at times. But so it's like, how can we find a niche where like we can grow this, but there can be kind of this better balance of time spent to invest back into this fundraiser. But I think ultimately it's, we can grow it out of this area too and maintain this event, but we live in Oregon, and Sabeswings is growing. Stacie and I are on their board of directors because of this event. And it's like, well, where else could we go with it? Right. So, Stacie's health comes first in our worlds, but once that, and we're very confident and trust in our faith that, she's, we're going to get through this and we're going to be able to give back. But, so we're trying to think, long-term, but in baby steps, so
our world has been turned upside down about 5,000 times. So, we live in a fluid environment and we have to, but, there's lots of opportunity, especially up in Oregon. So we've even talked about doing an extension there, and that's where our home is. It's so who knows? It really is. It's been really beautiful to see it develop here. I think we'll always have a presence because this is home for us, as far as where we were raised, and we have such a beautiful community. But there is opportunity for growth, and again, we're very invested in Sabeswings. They're amazing people. Candace and Brett have come alongside and actually helped us with our journey personally, and We love them. We love the organization. We love being a part of it. So we hope to grow alongside and with them too. And they have many, many big things that they're working on. So we're excited just to even be, in the same room. They're doing some really great things. So endless opportunities with that.
This episode is brought to you by the White Wave Wellness. Choose to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Wellness is more than being free from illness. It is a process of change and growth towards a mentally and physically healthy lifestyle. Reach out to Jennifer Hale to learn more about how this water can change your life.
Show, I was more interested on the fight they had to get to where they're at. And I asked them that question that I already probably knew the answer to, is like, is the healthcare system broken? And Candace was like, yeah, it is.
Completely broken. Yes. Yeah. We relate on that level, and we've seen it. And now I'm very involved in the cancer world on a personal level. So I mentor a lot of women that come forward. I talk to ladies that are going through, and gentlemen, depending on what their needs are, all day, every day. So I see it in so many different facets. So it's been a little eye opening, but that's all a part of the journey, is being able to now support people. I obviously monetarily, we're not able to do that, but if I can give back in my time and my energy and support those around me that have come forward and have questions. And, it does take an army to get through this, especially when standard care says there's nothing else. So I've been thankful to be able to come alongside, but lots of brokenness. It's pretty sad, but hopefully we're making moves.
Do you find yourself getting more political because now you have to read up on what's allowed and what's not allowed, or what decisions are being made without talking to you, kind of?
Right. Unfortunately, everything is ran. But money's behind everything. Yeah. And when there's money involved, it's also political. Yeah. So yes, it makes a huge difference, and it is hard. You can really deep dive and it can completely ruin your life, or, you can kind of take it from a bird's eye view, but it's really important to be informed, and you have to self-advocate, and you have to fight for what you believe in. And I never knew I would have, or we would be forced to kind of push through with what we believe is right and true, and had pushback from standard care people, and we've been through a lot. So it's pretty wild.
Can you define standard care and alternative? Because I know you mentioned that a few times. So people can gain what the big difference is.
Yes. So standard care is basically anything that's approved by insurance. Okay. So if you get diagnosed with a cancer diagnosis, typically you're going to go through chemo, radiation, surgery is going to be a standard care. That's going to be through an oncologist that's approved by insurance. Like Cody said, you basically are a number. They push you through, and then they spit you out at the end. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, they don't have anything else for you. Or like Cody said, they'll give you some more chemo to extend your life maybe, but majority of the time they just kind of let you go. So if you're in the standard care world, that's going to be a standard doctor. And am I explaining that?
Yes. Standard doctor, meaning,
just in the system.
Specialists, oncologists, radiologists, all those things you would find in your healthcare provider, covered through insurance. But
And then alternative is basically outside of the box, is how I explain it. And that's things that are not covered by insurance. And how and when they decided these things shouldn't be covered is beyond me, but I know that a lot of times it's money-based, unfortunately. So I did find a doctor in Southern California, but nothing that she did is covered under insurance. So she's considered alternative. Yeah. Because if you want to get these types of treatments that we have found very, very effective, you have to pay cash for them. So that's a really hard thing when we already went through what the doctors told us to do, all the insurance told us to do, and we did everything. I even did clinical trials in LA, and we went through all the hoops they told us to do. So it's unfortunate that after you go through all that, they're still not willing to help with trying to do other things. And I think that's where Cody and I would love to see a change. Standard care is there for a reason, and a lot of times it does work, but we'd love to see there be opportunity for some assistance when it doesn't work and you have to try other things, because you're really out on your own, and that's where the self-advocacy has to come into play when you're being faced with, a death sentence is a really hard thing. And, we're still pretty young, I would say. So being faced with that at a fairly young age and having to fight and crawl and grasp at everything, it's just a lot. It's a lot. So now we have 5 years of knowledge, and I feel like I could write 8 books. But it's also given us an opportunity to have a voice and to speak out and to give hope and truth to those that may not know anything about it. Because it's pretty wild even now with social media and the available resources. People are still pretty in the dark on what is available out there. So we've been able to come alongside people if they're interested and share what we've done. And so it's been a neat opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So when you said writing a book, how are you documenting this journey?
Well, I'm going to see if Candace wants to write a book about me. She's the writer. How have I documented? I mean, I do have a pretty active social media. I also have a website, staciestrong.org, and I do active blog posts on my website. So what's been really neat is we've been able to keep everything, obviously, on my updates page. So it goes all the way back to 2022. During active treatment, I was much more active in writing those updates because things were changing on a weekly basis, literally. Now it's every couple months I'll write something. So we do have all that documented. And a lot of it are pretty nitty gritties because at the time I was going through so much.
Do you go back and check out those first entries? No. Okay.
No, I'm definitely a move forward kind of gal. There's a lot of trauma that is wrapped up in those memories. Yeah. And yes, if there's an opportunity at some point to write a book or have some sort of formal documentation, I obviously will have to refer back. But it's been a hard 5 years. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, getting married and having a diagnosis right away. I mean, we got married in August 2019, and then that little thing happened in the pandemic right after that. So, And
you guys made it good timing on that.
And, nobody knows it's happening until it happens kind of thing, right? So you kind of maneuver through that and try to, live your life as best you can. But, all the things that we thought we were going to do as a couple, it was kind of postponed. And I'm sure you guys had the exact same thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And again, I'm more of like planning ahead kind of guy. So are you guys planning? Your 5-year anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing?
September.
Oh, I think
I'll let him answer this one.
Yeah, I don't. It's a great, we would love to be in the position to think more ahead.
Right.
That's probably been one of our biggest challenges is not being able to do that. Yeah. And having to think more imminently about things and just being prepared for unknowns, right? Our lives are still lived as kind of a mystery of what's going to or could happen. So for me, I have a very cautiously optimistic approach to life right now. And it's not the most healthy, but it kind of keeps me grounded a little bit, just in case something comes up. Her cancer type is very aggressive, and it's known for reoccurrence and for over multiple times. So I think one thing I'm personally actually working on is trying to not be in that kind of space and trying to live our lives a little more, especially now since she is back home in Oregon. Stacie was living down in California, Southern California, for 19 months, going to these alternative treatments. So we were separated for that long, and so I'm trying to let go of that kind of control aspect in this whole thing, trying to control every step of the way. So I think, in terms of forward thinking, forward planning, we haven't gotten quite there yet. But we have been talking about some more, international travel, because we have done that a few times prior to getting married. And that's been some of the best experiences we've had together. So we would like to kind of get back into that more. So I think there's some arguments on where we want to go, but that's but it's all good things, I think, and goals to have too, really good goals to have.
Yeah. So. I think it's important, even if we're not quite there yet, the medical cost was, over between $500,000 and $600,000 that we've been faced with. And that debt still stands. So for us, it's like, we so badly want to be able to move forward, but we also want to be good stewards of what we've been given. And we're trying to just take it one step at a time. So, we're so blessed by these, just everything that we've been able to do up until this point. Right, but there is a piece of us that really wants to do the right thing. But having the hope that we can do those things in the future is also an important aspect, because this world is very engulfing, especially for me. It's hard to not live in fear. As a stage 4 patient, the standard care world, so like regular doctors would tell me that I'll always have cancer and I will always be fighting, and eventually it will take my life. And Cody and I have chosen to believe that we're going to find other ways. I've already proven the odds that I'm still here. And potentially at this point, we believe that there is no cancer in my body. They are concerned about something in my brain, but we don't know what it is. So we're going to say that it's nothing until we know it's something. So there's just this, it's almost like being in a room and there's a tiger in the corner and he's just staring at you. And you're trying to be distracted and you have other things in the room that you want to do. But every single time you look up, the tiger's ready to pounce. And so that's kind of what it's like in our lives. So it makes it really hard to be able to focus on other things. But it's also really important because this journey is very mental, and we want to come together and support each other and be able to have things that we can still hope and dream for without having that tiger pounce. So, yeah.
Great way to put it. Yeah.
No, one of the things, and we can wrap up too in a little bit, but one of the things I've noticed between your guys' dynamic, he is your rock.
Yes.
like he's keeping things in to keep it in control.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And props to you, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
You guys are lucky to have each other in that way. And it's just, I think a lot of people spend their whole lives trying to find that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're really blessed in that sense. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to tell the listeners and the viewers to keep in mind for challenges that come their way? What would you tell them? Put things in perspective.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Right.
You don't like your job, go work in the field real quick.
Right.
It's just something small. Like
perspective is huge. Yeah.
I think we're all going to go through trauma in our lives, right? It's inevitable. Whether it's on a big scale or small scale. But we never want to compare those things. And more so when they do happen, and it may directly affect us, whether it's happening immediately to us or if it's happening to someone we love, maybe indirectly. It's super important to lean on relationships. Because you can't do those hard things on your own. I had to learn that. So, and it's something I'm still trying to learn. But I would just if I could give any advice, and I don't think I'm great at advice at all, but lean on the people around you. People will show up, no matter what you're going through, whether it's something mentally, whether it's something in a medical condition, again, someone if it's happening directly to you, whatever the case is, there's people out there that want to help, and people will show up. So just lean on connections. I mean, we're created for that. We're created for relationships and connections, and that'll keep us humble at the end of the day.
Yeah. I agree.
Love that.
No, I like it too. I got a little teary-eyed, I'm not going to lie.
That's tough. But we're excited for Sunday. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
It always is a great day.
Yeah. Sunday's a big day.
It's a big day, and it really does keep us going. And then, we'll be back next year. Yeah.
And I will be happy to have you next year.
Yes,
Let's plan
okay.
for that.
I'll
there we
appreciate
go.
that.
That's
yeah.
great.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Yes.